Has this ever happened?
No, it's never happened to me. You know what I mean? I was just covering things.
Did you tell them you were the press?
Yeah, I told them that I was the press. This one says I was hitting an officer. I was not hitting nobody.
That Austin photojournalist among those arrested amid protests at UT yesterday. The photographer worked with Fox 7, and our crew spoke with him while he was being detained, along with his gear. He has been released from the Travis County Jail, as our crews captured this morning. But after video showing his arrest made its way online, the Society of Professional Journalists posted a statement calling it a violation of the First Amendment. Our Matt Grant sat down with the president of the organization, who's now calling for change.
The video of the Fox 7 photojournalist being arrested has been shared thousands of times online. The station says he was charged with criminal trespassing. What's your reaction to what happened?
My reaction is, upon seeing the video, I think the first thing that came to mind was this is a journalist who has First Amendment protections to be able to observe this very highly publicized news story that's really unfolding across the country at college campuses. It is the right of every journalist to be able to be that first draft of history and inform the public about what's happening, and also to hold the powerful account. Journalists have to be in place to be able to observe what law enforcement is doing so that we can report out and hold that particular group accountable for their actions and everything that they do. So my first reaction to seeing that is this is a First Amendment violation. And we cannot stand by and allow this to happen. And that's the reason why SPJ and myself will continue to speak up when we see these incidents that are against the First Amendment protections of journalists.
You have requested to speak with Texas DPS Director Stephen McCraw. What would you want to say to him?
I think one of the questions that I would want to ask is, how his particular area views the First Amendment rights of journalists. Does he feel like his law enforcement officers have the right to be able to prevent journalists from doing their First Amendment protected jobs? And I would say the answer is no. That should never happen. And, in the state of California, we found that that was happening often. And we pulled together a coalition to be able to push forth a bill, SB 98, into law that would help protect journalists in this very situation.
Can you tell me more about that law, what it does for protection for journalists, and if you think that's something that Texas should adopt here?
So on the law books in the state of California, prior to about 2 or 3 years ago, we had protections for journalists who were covering acts of natural disasters, right? They could stay in place at their own peril to cover the stories so that the public could be informed. All SB 98 did was increase that particular protection to journalists who were covering instances of civil unrest. So if there was a disbursement call that was pushed out by law enforcement, journalists would be able to stay in place, cover the story, get the information out to the public without the fear of being detained or arrested by police. Because we were seeing that more and more right around the protests that happened when George Floyd was killed, and also the court case that happened in relation to that. We were concerned that this was going to be something that would continue to plague journalists as they were just trying to be on the ground covering the story so that the public can remain informed. And so we were very successful in making sure that that would happen. And I would say it's a template for what states should really adopt throughout the country. And many states do have similar laws on the books, but I think it's high time that maybe even a federal law that looks similar to that is in place to protect journalists, to ensure that the public can remain informed. Because without an informed public, our very democracy is at stake.
Ashanti Blaze Hopkins with the Society of Professional Journalists. Thank you so much for your time and for talking with us.
Thank you.
And that's our Matt Grant reporting. The Travis County Sheriff's Office reports at least 57 protesters booked into jail. But the county attorney's office says the prosecutor's cases are being individually reviewed. And she also noted that they found some problems with the probable cause affidavits filed. The court agreed, ordering many of these people to be released.